Lindsey Vonn has built a career on speed, precision and fearlessness, but in Crans-Montana, Switzerland, one moment changed everything. During the final World Cup downhill before the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics, the American skiing legend lost control at extreme speed, crashing into the safety net as visibility collapsed and snow intensified. The race was later abandoned, but the images of Vonn limping and clutching her left knee instantly raised global concern. This is not just a story about a fall. It is a story about biomechanics, risk limits, and the fine line between greatness and vulnerability in elite downhill skiing. Why was this downhill race so important for Lindsey Vonn? This race was the final competitive downhill before the Winter Olympics, making it the last real-world test of form, speed, and confidence. For Lindsey Vonn, it carried even more weight. At 41 years old, she was proving that her comeback after years of injuries and a partial knee replacement was not symbolic but competitive. A strong result here would have confirmed her status as a genuine Olympic medal contender and validated an extraordinary late career return. What made the course conditions especially dangerous that day? The course in Crans-Montana is already known for its steep pitch-blind transitions and high-speed jumps. On this day, snowfall increased rapidly, reducing contrast and depth perception. Visibility deteriorated run by run, making it harder for athletes to judge terrain changes at racing speed. When downhill skiers travel at well over 100 km per hour, even a slight misjudgment becomes amplified into a major risk. What exactly happened in the moments leading up to the crash? Vonn lost control immediately after landing a jump in the upper section of the course. Upon touchdown, her skis did not fully realign with the fall line, causing a brief loss of edge engagement. That small instability at high speed forced her body into a corrective movement that came too late. Within fractions of a second, she was sliding sideways and unable to re-establish control before reaching the safety net. Why is landing after a jump such a critical biomechanical moment? Jump landings in downhill skiing create some of the highest forces an athlete experiences. The body must absorb vertical impact while instantly transitioning into horizontal acceleration. If the skis land unevenly or the hips are slightly misaligned, the kinetic chain becomes disrupted. This places sudden rotational stress on the knees, hips, and ankles, especially when the athlete attempts to save the run rather than ejecting. What is meant by a kinetic chain breakdown in this crash? A kinetic chain breakdown occurs when one segment of the body fails to properly absorb or transfer force. In this case, the initial instability at ski contact traveled upward through the ankles to the knees and hips. As the skis drifted sideways, the knee joints were exposed to torsional loads beyond their ideal alignment. The body could not dissipate the energy smoothly, resulting in loss of balance and eventual impact. Why did the left knee appear to be the main area of concern? Visual evidence showed Vonn protecting and unloading her left leg after the crash. When a skier slides sideways, the downhill leg often bears greater rotational force. The knee experiences a combination of valgus stress, twisting, and compression. Given Vonn's injury history, this knee is already structurally vulnerable, making it the most likely site of overload even if no catastrophic tear occurs. How do muscle fatigue and reaction time affect crashes at this level? Even elite athletes experience neuromuscular fatigue, especially late in a season. Fatigue slightly delays muscle activation, which reduces the body's ability to stabilize joints instantly. At downhill speeds, reaction windows are measured in milliseconds. When fatigue and poor visibility combine, the margin for correction disappears, making crashes more likely even for the most experienced skiers. What kinds of injuries are common in high-speed downhill crashes? The most frequent injuries involve the knee, including ligament sprains, partial tears, and meniscus damage. Ankles, hips, and lower back are also at risk due to torsional and compressive forces. Protective equipment reduces blunt trauma but cannot fully prevent internal joint stress caused by rapid deceleration and twisting during a slide or net impact. Why safety nets and airbags cannot eliminate injury risk? Safety nets are designed to reduce stopping distance and spread impact forces over time. Airbags protect against direct trauma to the torso and spine. However, they do not prevent internal joint loading that occurs before impact. By the time an athlete reaches the net, much of the injury mechanism has already occurred during loss of control and attempted recovery. What happened after the crash and why the race was abandoned. Medical staff attended Vonn immediately while she remained down for several minutes. Although she was able to stand and move slowly, she was visibly limping and holding her knee. With multiple crashes occurring and conditions worsening, race officials made the decision to abandon the event, prioritizing athlete safety over competition. What does this incident reveal about the limits of human performance? This crash highlights how elite sport operates at the edge of physiological tolerance. Downhill skiing demands absolute precision under unpredictable conditions. Even an athlete with decades of experience cannot fully control external variables like visibility, snow texture, and wind. The body can only compensate up to a point before physics takes over. How does this moment fit into Lindsey Vonn's broader legacy? Rather than diminishing her legacy, this incident reinforces it. Vonn's career has been defined by resilience, courage, and a willingness to push boundaries others avoid. Competing at this level at her age after extensive injury history speaks to extraordinary discipline and mental strength. This crash becomes part of a larger story about longevity and determination in extreme sport. What lessons does this crash offer for the future of ski racing? It strengthens the case for improved weather thresholds, better real-time monitoring, and continued innovation in equipment and training. Advances in wearable sensors and biomechanical data analysis may help identify dangerous fatigue patterns or instability earlier. Ultimately, the goal is not to eliminate risk but to manage it more intelligently. Finally, Lindsey Vonn's crash in Crans, Montana was not the result of recklessness or decline. It was the outcome of extreme speed, harsh conditions, and the unforgiving physics of downhill skiing. Moments like this remind us how narrow the margin is between control and catastrophe, and why athletes like Vonn command such respect. If you found this deep dive valuable, take a moment to share this video, like it, and subscribe for more educational sports analysis that goes beyond the headlines.